And that is that your guys need to play catch. Play catch, play catch, play catch. When you get tired of playing catch, play some more catch. Okay, baseball's a game of catch. The more you play catch, the better your team will be. Okay, how many games have you won, how many games have you lost by the team's ability or inability to play catch. So the more time you spend in playing catch, the more you can replicate game type catch. The more you replicate game speed catch, the better off you're going to be. Okay, so you want to come up with as many ways, as many throws as you can think of that can replicate a game type throw. The more you practice it, the better off you're going to be. Okay, so as we get into game throws, as we get into doing different things and positioning, throwing from positions, throwing from outfield, throwing to cutoffs, switching cutoffs, throwing different areas, throwing from gaps, throwing from across the infield. Practice your game throws. Okay? Now, we'll take a little bit of time, and I'm going to have you guys come back up, and I'm going to have you guys partner up. We're going to go through some of the components of playing catch. Now, last time we just briefly talked about warming up the levers. Okay? So I want you guys to come back up. We did it already, but you just need one ball between the two of you. Okay? Now, so I need to have you guys going this way. Now, what we're going to do here is when we're starting this, now we're going to go through the specifics. Last time we just talked about just kind of getting the idea behind this. Now, what we want to do is start off, and when you're playing catch with your older guys, it's like, here's one of the mistakes that coaches commonly make. Guys, go warm up. They point to the outfield, the kids go run out there, they play catch, dink around, while coaches are hanging out and talking about what they did last weekend and doing other things, planning on the practice. Practice is already planned, guys. Your schedule's all set. This is probably the most important station that you have, right here. Okay? When we are out practicing, we don't call it warming up. Okay, warming up is when you run, when you stretch, when you do all that stuff. This is, we go warm up, it's like, okay, let's start practicing playing catch. So we call it practice playing catch. So, get up. So move the guys up just a little bit. Okay? Now, first thing we have you do, as we start off, well, coaches segmented all the way around, and we just talk through it real quick. Okay, straddle, elbow up. We talk about the height of the elbow. Elbow's got to be at the height of the shoulder. So we start with elbow up, making sure you're at a four-seam grip. Okay? Remember we talked last time about using the smaller hands, using the fork versus the fangs. So we're going to talk fork. Get that middle finger over the thumb. We're going to start here and we're going to flip. Now what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're getting backspin on the ball. I want to make sure you guys are getting lots of spins. Okay? So we're going to concentrate on how that ball is spinning off your hand. Okay, ready? Go. Elbow up, spin. There we go. Okay, we're working on spins. Get spins. Lots of spins. Try to spin it off a little bit more. Good spins. Quick spins. There we go. Good. Okay, quick spins. Spin it. There you go. Good. Quick spins, back spins. There we go. We want to see backspin on the ball. Quick spins, back spins. Okay? So, okay, hold the balls here. What we're trying to do here is when that pitcher releases that ball, they get that push, they want to get a lot of revolutions on that pitch. The more revolutions means the ball's going to naturally move on its own. Okay? So, it's not important with a four-seam because that ball's not going to move as much. But then as we're pitching, we go to a two-seam grip. Now we get movement, okay, with more revolutions. Okay, next thing we're going to do is now we're going to point out, we're working on lever one. Lever one is both fingers and wrist. Lever two, elbow. Now this here is accuracy. So with this one here, what I want to do is I want you to point out, so usually, you know, for example, what we do is we put our logo right here, okay? Obviously, you know, we have a smaller logo. We put that right there in the center of the chest. I get the logo. That's just what we do. But you can do on your shirt to say, okay, I want you to point out, you know, hit that right there, hit that B. Okay, we're going to try to hit the center of the E right there. So you find a spot. Okay, O. We got a white shirt, but you say right even here. Even though it's not the center, Here you go, hit that silver spot. Give them a small target to aim for with this drill. Because this one here is all about how I'm bringing through to accuracy. How I finish out. So here, okay, straddle out, okay, elbow up, hit your target, point it out, hit your target. Okay, once again, 2, 3 word instruction, go ahead. Point it out, hit your target. There we go. Point it out. There you go, hit your target. Okay. Okay, both balls. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on shoulder rotation. Now as we work on shoulder rotation, what we want to do is I want to make sure we guys always are working on accuracy. Now how many of you guys have shot a gun before? You folks know you play with weapons? Okay. Now, being that you guys have shot a gun, what's on top of the gun that helps you with accuracy?
Scope or a sight.
A sight, okay, you know, scope or a sight. We're going to go with a sight, okay? So if I've got a sight, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my front elbow as the side of the gun, okay? Some people like to use the glove, so, you know, it's like point your glove at the target. Anything that you can use to point at your target. The reason I like to use the elbow is it's more for helping increase velocity. Okay, so it's something, and we can go into greater detail on that, but what I can do with this is I can get more of a greater range of motion back with my back shoulder. I can create more movement, so I can get a couple miles an hour extra on my fastball. Okay, for you guys, that's not important right now, because you've got to be accurate. Okay, as you get older, we're starting to get the accuracy part down. Now we've got to start to pump up the speed a little bit. Okay, so I want to point that elbow at my target. So now I'm going to turn that straddle from here to here. Boom. So when I do this, I'm going to start from here. I'm going to pull it out, point, and throw, and finish. Okay, so here, once again, elbow up. So I start here, hand position. So we say stretch. So you get into this. So bring your ball and glove. As I say stretch position. So like stretch. Up. As I let it go. Okay? So now, you guys are going to play catch. Spread out just a little bit, very slowly. Set me throw each, okay? Okay? Stretch. Okay, go into stretch position. Up. Let it go. Okay? Okay, stretch. Up. Let it go. There. So each time, now with this, once again, you're always aiming for a target. Okay? Now, as we get into this, you guys can have a seat now. Okay, thanks. Now, after we get to that point, now we want to get them moving. Okay, so now, when we start playing catch, one of the mistakes that a lot of kids make, and I tell you what, guys, we get guys coming to Northwestern who do not know how to play catch. Okay, they've gone through high school, they've played a very good baseball program, do not know how to play catch. Okay, here's what they do. They'll go through those 3 drills, flip, 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 and throw. Okay, they get back, and they start throwing, and their feet are stationary. Okay, once we get to that set position, the reason we talk about the set position is I go here, throw, and I'll go stretch, up, let it go. Now what I want to do after that is now I've got to catch the ball. As after I catch it, as I'm going to catch, move my feet, let it go. Catch, move the feet, throw. Okay? So every time as I get here, after I catch, I'm going to catch, pop the feet, throw. Okay? So I work it, I kind of segment it. Catch, move my feet, I'm already in a set position, let it go. Okay, so every time after I catch, so if the ball goes here, I'd be here, move my feet, and throw. I move us to the last stage. The last stage is I come up and meet the ball. So I'm here, I come up, turn, and throw. Follow my throw. So after I catch the ball, I want to catch the ball moving forward. I'm going to go up and get it. So I go and get it, boom. Move my feet, throw, follow the throw. drills I like to do when it comes to following a throw is we'll have 5 people in a line. We'll have 3 on one end and 2 on another. And the line with 3 will throw. One person throws and he follows his throw. He runs to the end of the gym. Person catches it, and as he catches it, he turns and throws and runs. And we'll see guys running back and forth, back and forth. And they start getting gassed, but they're following their throw. They're using their body. Okay? So, it's like making sure that playing catch is a vital part. Okay? Playing catch, long toss, increasing strength. It's like if you're going to increase strength in your throwers, you got to play catch for about 20 to 30 minutes. Okay? Right now, some of you are going like, well, what else are we going to do in practice? We got all these other things. Hate to say it this way, guys, but your kids aren't going home to play catch. Okay? The only time they're getting their conditioning is with you. So you might have to extend their throwing. Baseball is a game of catch. Let's practice playing catch over and over and over again. Okay? So we play catch 3 times a week. We go 30 to 40 minutes playing catch. Long toss, get it out there. Long, 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 long. Now, obviously, we've got more time. I know that. You know that. But we do that 3 times a week. We practice 6 days a week. And we play catch a lot. Our off days is 15 to 20 minutes. Okay? Other than that, it's 30 to 40 minutes. We play a lot of catch. Okay? We still make a lot of errors. But we make less errors than we did before. Okay? You know, I think 1 error is too many. But baseball's not a perfect game. You know that, and I know that. So we want to make sure our guys are playing catch. Now, when it comes to pitching mechanics, okay, here are some things that you're going to find with kids. I want you guys to stand up. Okay? Now, this one here you don't need your glove for. Okay? We're going to put you guys, and you don't need a baseball. Okay? Now, what you do need to be able to do is be able to stand on one leg. Okay? Can you do that? So if you throw with your right hand, you got to be able to stand. That's great flexibility, by the way. If you throw with your right hand, stand on your right leg. Okay? Can you do that? Okay? Now, can you do it with your eyes closed? Try that. That's not too bad, actually. Okay, you can open your eyes now. That's actually really good. That's actually really good, because here's, you guys have a seat for a second. This is what happens when you get a group of players together and they're practicing their balance step, their first step of balance. I'm trying. I'm actually trying. I'm not trying to fall over. Okay? That's normal. Okay? Actually, that's more abnormal. I'm really bad. Okay? But the purpose in this is that when you're working on pitching, the importance of getting a directional throwing starts with balance. Okay? You will find some pitching coaches who will say balance points are bad. Not a good thing because you don't throw from a static position. True to a point. But you have to be able to get to a static position to be able to throw in a direction. Okay? Now, here are some of the mistakes pitchers make. Okay? Number 1, I think you should do this, and I'm going to speak one thing in general as a start. Is that once you start getting above age 10, train everybody to be a pitcher, even if they never pitch. Okay? Even if, because I hate pitching, okay? I know you hate pitching, but we're going to practice pitching. Because you're going to learn the mechanics of directional throwing. You're going to be a better thrower. I'll never pitch you in a game, Junior, but you're going to learn how to pitch. Okay? Some of the mistakes that pitchers make. Number 1 is that kids will throw off their center of gravity. Now, it's all fancy word for nothing more than a pitch. Okay, does that make sense? So they're standing on the pitching rubber. The first step is and step that way. Here's my center of gravity, okay? So I want from here, I want to go there. Okay, so think about this. If I take my center of gravity, I shift it over here, and then I move it over here. And then I want it to go here. Okay? If anybody here is an engineer, you would just make, that doesn't make any sense, right? You just say, okay, this has to go there. Okay? So, one of the things you can do, here's the teach for that, is make sure their chin stays over their back foot. Okay? I'm a right-hand thrower, right foot. So when I turn, I can turn as long as my chin stays right there. Okay? Makes sense? Okay? If I want to go back, I can go back. I can go to the side. As long as my chin stays here. Now my center of gravity is right here. So that kid who wants to step off, that's fine. Okay? The other thing I would tell you, I will tell all of you, we have changed this, has made it's much more, it's much easier for pitchers to get this. Instead of standing straight across on the pitching rubber, both feet evenly, just angle slightly. And just a slight angle. It doesn't have to be much, just enough so they can go, so I can put that foot down. Okay? So if this line right here is the pitching rubber, I would just go like this. Because that way I can go here, turn, I can go. Okay? Because I want to go directionally. I want to go this way. Okay? That's one mistake kids make. The other one that kids make is when they start to throw, and say, this front elbow will do this when they pitch. Okay? So I start to throw and they'll go, that front arm will go here. Now what happens, once again, remember we talked about here, about the side of the gun? Okay? You ever tried to shoot something like this? We tried to actually hit anything like that. I mean, I've shot stuff, I've shot it, geese. No success doing that. Okay, so if I'm here, okay, if I move the sight of the gun, I'm going to be less accurate. If my sight's going this way, where's my accuracy going to be? East and west. So for those kids that are wild there, when this arm goes out, that's where the ball's going to go. It's going to go side to side. Okay, so to fix that, what we want to do is get that elbow here. If they want to use glove is fine. But what I tell the kids that use their glove is take the ball and throw it over your glove. Okay? Keeps that glove out there longer. If they use their elbow, here, I tell them tuck that elbow to their side. Tuck their elbow to their side, because as soon as they do that, now they're all in line. Okay? Now, the next thing that kids will do is outside of their elbow, it's going to be with their feet. Okay? So, let's say, for example, I'm going to use this line here. When kids come up and they start to move, they will either step over, they'll close themselves off, or they will open up. Now, I'm going to tell you, here is a trend that's happening in Major League Baseball. You will see more and more guys who will step across. Okay? You're like, well, all these guys in the major leagues are doing it. Let me tell you what they're doing. They're stepping across, so let me get real technical here. There is a line of angle from the front hip to the back shoulder. Okay? So what they're trying to do is get more velocity. So what I'm doing here is this front hip is pointing to my target. My back shoulder has a greater angle. So if I drew a straight line through me, okay, here's my hip, straight line going back this way, the angle from here to where my shoulder is, back shoulder. Okay? Does that make sense? You understand what I'm getting at? So when the pitcher steps across, he's trying to get a greater angle to make him use his hips more, or waist more, boom, to get more velocity. Okay? That's a current trend. Okay? The reason that these guys are in the major leagues is because they can do that. Okay? That is one way. I'm going to show you another way, guys, where you can gain velocity now. Most pitchers have anywhere from 3 to 5 miles per hour in them right now. Okay? Even you guys. Okay? Now, before I go there, let me explain the priorities of pitching to you guys. Okay? Most important thing, accuracy. Okay? Accuracy is number one. Accuracy is like real estate. It's all about location, 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 location. Okay? You guys don't understand it, but folks do. Okay? Number two, pitches that change speeds. Okay? Change up. Throw a pitch that goes fast and slow. Okay? Number two priority. Number three priority, pitches that move. Curveball, sliders, and such. Okay? Number four, velocity. But if you talk to young pitchers, and I get to work with lots of young pitchers, high school pitchers especially. High school pitcher comes to me and says, Coach, what do you want to do? I want to gain velocity. I want coaches like yourself to start watching me. So I need to gain velocity. And then I want to have a good breaking ball. And then I want to have a decent changeup. And oh yeah, I need to work on accuracy. Turn them upside down. Okay? So, we want to make sure we're staying consistent with our priorities. Okay? So when I talk about, hey, I can add 5 miles per hour to your fastball, and everybody goes, ooh, yeah. Doesn't want to light up the gun. Okay? Doesn't matter if you can throw 105 or 65 if you can throw strikes. Okay? Because the most important thing is, can you throw strikes, and can you take that pitch, no matter if it's 65 or 105, and can you have a pitch that's a changeup that's 10 to 12 miles an hour less? Okay, doesn't matter. Okay? Now, do you have a breaking ball that goes off of that? Okay? So, the most important thing is how fast, it's not how fast you throw, it's how accurate you throw. Okay, so, is that foot movement thing there as well. Okay? And the last thing, and this is the most common mistake that I see kids make, is they don't use their legs when they pitch. Okay? Now, I'm going to have you guys stand up again. Now, I'm going to have you do is, you're really good at standing on one leg. Right? Okay. Now, what I want you to do, okay, I'm going to actually have you guys stand across from each other. Okay? I'm going to have you stand, come on over and stand like this. You're going to be in a stretch. Okay, we're going to have it like this. You're going to do like this, here, okay? Here, you're going to be like this. Okay, you're going to be facing this way, okay? Now what I want you to do is I want you to stand on your right leg. Okay, stand on your right leg. Okay, now what I want you guys to do is I want you to fart at your buddy. Okay? 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 Now, why are you turning over like that? It's like, no, just all you have to do is a one cheek sneak. All you have to do is go. How many of you feel it right here? You feel it right there? So when you go up and turn, okay, all you have to do is lift this hip up just a little bit. You'll feel this muscle tighten up. You feel that? If you feel that muscle tighten up, there's your 3 to 5 miles an hour. Your speed comes right out of your booty. Okay? It's using your legs. Okay? Go ahead and have a seat again. Because if I can get this, if I can get guys to do this, I've got a guy right now, okay? I'm not bragging, it's because a bunch of things all worked for him. Okay? Kid I'm working with, Stillwater, went from 72 to 80. And that was from the end of July to now. Okay? How? Because he started using this. He started getting the coordination of this. Okay? And he started getting where he was using his legs. All of a sudden, and he's tall. Like 6'3". You know, all of a sudden he started to put everything together. Okay? And all of a sudden, huh. Okay, you'll find, you'll always hear stories about that, and it does happen. It happens with taller guys who don't use their legs. okay? I guarantee you, there's probably a couple kids here in Anoka, 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", on the baseball team, throwing 75. They could add 7, 8 miles an hour overnight by just using their butt, okay? Now, what it takes is being able to take this front leg, because most kids will stand like this, okay? They'll get here like this, and they go, step down. They don't use their legs at all. Feet are shoulder width apart. When they come to their set, now another thing I do is I'd have guys set up like this so it's more comfortable with their arms. They take this knee and they bring their front knee over. So they bring their front knee over their back knee. Doesn't have to be high, it can be low, but as soon as they do that, they start to lift this front hip. As soon as they do that, they'll feel it right here. So dads, I want you guys to do this. I want you to stand up. Okay. Now I want you just from here, I want you to be able to feel this, is to be able to go here, lift up, and hike your hip. As soon as you hike your hip, you'll feel this guy right here tighten up. As soon as that tightens up, there's your power. Okay, you feel that? It's here, lift. It's like, well, I mean, the best way for young guys, I'm telling you, that's the teach I use. Hey, get here, fart at your buddy, fart at your catcher. As soon as they do that, they're ha ha ha, like that. As soon as they do that, that's what if you do fart?
I actually did.
You did? That's what's done up here. Taco John's, huh? Gets you every time. Okay, but, okay, I need to ask, is like, did you feel right here start to tighten up? Okay, if you didn't, I would tell you to go home, tell your wife what you learned, and she'll say, well, you've been doing that to me for years. Okay, but just practice that lift of that hip. As soon as you do, you'll start to feel, that's where kids will get their power. And what will happen, the reason that works is I go here, and now as I go here with this front leg, now goes down and out. And as soon as that happens, it drives you forward. Okay? Gives you that direction. So if I go here, and I go up and tighten, and I go out, and it causes my bottom half to shoot forward. Okay? And as I shoot forward, I'm going to get a lot more power. Now, you can look at some video clips of pitchers, and you'll see a lot of pitchers. You look at their belt, all of a sudden you see their belt, all of a sudden you see that belt kind of like this. And they're using that back hip. Okay? There's, if you did a YouTube clip on Drew Storen, Drew Storen really over-exaggerates the use of the hip. When Drew Storen pitches, first thing he does is he lifts his front heel. And you see him, his hip's way up like this. I mean, it's like, and so when he turns, his front hip turns, and then he goes forward. And so he's really loading this backside. And when he was in college, he was about 82, 83, and he graduated throwing about 94, 95. Okay, so he's kind of over-exaggerated that. Okay, but just using that hip. Okay, so any questions on how to teach those things? Because the goal is being directional. Now with the younger kids too, you might want to put them in a stretch and just have them pitch from stretch. Okay, so if we can get them in the stretch position and get them throwing, as especially, I don't work with, I don't teach out of the windup until kids are in 7th grade. And a lot of times, anything less than that, usually most kids aren't stealing. If they are stealing, it's ball going to the backstop anyway. So it's not going to really matter. But usually what we'll do is when they start going from getting in the stretch, we want to make sure that we can get them to use their hips, okay, and to get them to throw. Now when they throw, you want to make sure that this front foot, when that gets down, I got to be to here. Okay? This arm's got to get to here, so that way when I throw, when I start getting down, It's going straight forward. Okay, so another area where kids will make mistakes is when that foot goes down, their ball will be back here. Okay, so then what they do is they speed up their arm. So this is one way. You hear, like when Bert Blyleven's talking about pitchers, he's rushing to the plate. This is one way. They get that front foot gets down too fast, so they have to speed up their arm. They start throwing pitches high. The other one is where they're off balance. They start falling forward. So as they fall forward, then they have to speed up their arm. Okay, and not getting into a set balance and getting to use the power. Okay, so those are two ways that you can rush to the plate. So we want to make sure that we can get here. Now, a way that you can fix that for a lot of guys is they just have to get that timing. So one of the things that we'll do is we bring them up and just stop right there. Just have them go back and forth. And you can have them throw pitches and then throw. So as long as they can get to that position, to there. Okay? And with the younger guys, you can put them in that position. Okay? Make sure they're getting, get stayed in that position so they know what it feels like. Another one you can do is you can have, can I borrow you for a second? I'm going to have you hold my baseball. So another one that you can do is to stand right over here. Okay, and you're just going to put the ball in my hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. I'm going to stand right here, and you just put the ball in the hand. And then I pitch from there. Okay? Just another way of just making sure that hand is in the right position. Okay. So we want to make sure that we get that person going directionally, that we make sure we get that timing piece of it. The last part we want to get to is when I finish throwing, I want to finish where my back is flat. Okay, so if I can finish where my back is flat, that means I'm getting everything through and I'm balanced. Okay, so I finish off and my back is over here like this. I don't want to be angled off to the side. I just want to be finishing. I'm going to have a slight angle when I finish, but it's going to be like this. And I'm coming forward on the throw. Okay? How many of you use videotape, or videotape your kids just for fun, or if you have in the past? Okay? Now, some things you can watch in videotape are things you can see when you're maybe taking pictures. Some of the mistakes that kids will make. Okay? So when you're taking pictures, you might notice certain things like arms too far back. Okay? Now, some coaches will say, don't mess with the kids throwing mechanic. Don't mess with their arm. Okay? There's a time you have to, I think there's a time where you have to make a change. Okay? That time is, does this cause pain? Okay, I got a left-handed pitcher that he was taught to do this. Okay? And when he turns and throws, his arm goes way behind him as he throws. Okay? Which causes a lot of stress in his shoulder. So, a lot of research is showing that actually getting inside here is safer. Okay, than being here. I, for years, have taught here. So even being inside that a little bit is even safer. Okay? Now, most of us would refer to that, and I would still refer to that as short arming. Like, well, that's not real healthy, right? It's like what it does is now it makes this whole upper half as a unit. I'm using more muscles to throw. Then you got a convert, okay? So it's like how to get there. I mean, sometimes you just have to get kids to slow down their mechanics. If a kid can slow down his mechanics, he can speed them up, okay? If you can slow them down, he can speed them up. So when you're working on mechanics, slow them down and then speed them up, okay? They should be able to go different speeds. So if you're watching on film or you're taking pictures, you want to look for things like this. The first thing is you want to take a look at how their body is positioned in that first balance point, that stretch position. Is their leg going straight up or are they going at an angle? Okay, is this foot going back here? If it's not going back here, they're not using they're not using their legs. They go straight up. Okay? We want to get them I want to get this hip to turn just a little bit. Okay? So are they using their legs? The second thing is when they take their step, is their step going down and forward? It's getting them to use the mound and drive. If they're not, so you'll see kids, they'll step over the barrel and throw. Okay? So if you see kids that are getting here and they step over the barrel, they're not using their legs again. So I want to get them here and drive forward. Now, what you can do with that, one of the things I like to do with that one is might take a baseball, set that here and say, now what I'm going to have to do is I have to kick that out of the way. So I'm here, so I can use my legs to kick that ball out of the way. So what I want to be able to do is if I can use my legs, drive, here, I'll take that, thanks. I was like, that's another thing I can look for on film, okay? Another thing I want to look for is that when I turn to throw, I want to be in this position. The one thing I don't want to get is my hand back here. If my hand, so if you see it, you can see my arm behind me, that's giving a lot of stress right here. So if my arm is getting behind my back, that's putting a lot of stress. Now, another thing you can do to gain velocity, okay, now I like to use that elbow, is now I can do this. Now I can squeeze my shoulder blades together, and that's perfectly fine. Okay? So if I get into here, now as I turn to throw, now my shoulders do this. So I go here, and it's going to give me more velocity. The hip is going to give you a lot of velocity. Okay? The shoulder is going to give you 1 to 2 miles an hour. Okay? This angle, I'm talking about, as I twist, that's going to give another couple of miles per hour. So, and every coach in the nation, every college coach says, pitcher comes in and says, how fast are you throwing? 84. We're going to add 5 miles an hour to your fastball. I don't know a coach who doesn't do that. There's not a pitching coach on the planet, I'm included. You're going to add 5 miles an hour to your fastball. Sight unseen. Okay? Most times we're right. Most of the time kids don't use their hips, or they don't use their shoulders, or they don't use their rotation. Okay? Most of the time we're right. And then we show them a couple things, boom, fastball comes out like, wow, gained 5 miles an hour, you're a genius. No, not really. And it's like, you can do that too. Okay? You can do that just as well. If you have a son as they get older, those are skills, when you put all 3 of those together, those are skills for 14, 15, 16. When they start growing facial hair, that's when you start putting those things in. You can do that, okay? This is all stuff that other people have researched and coaches steal, okay? Guys, I'm going to tell you, I'm a great thief of great ideas, okay? If you've got a great idea, which I like the Gallagher practice, by the way, that will likely become one, and I'll put my name to it. I'll just tell everyone I invented it. Okay? Anything that I say, anything I say here tonight, guys, you don't have to let anybody know that you were here. You can tell all your friends, and the parents of your team. You can tell them, you know what? I was just thinking. We could do some really great throwing practices. And the importance of throwing in directional and using hips more, we can get more velocity. So just turn those hips and fart at your catcher. And the parents are like, wow, you're a genius. And yeah, I sure am. I just stole a really good idea, which I stole from somebody else. Okay? Guys, I do not have an original thought. Everything I have has been stolen. Okay? So please steal from me. Okay? Now, after we get through this part with the shoulder, the other thing too is to keep in mind is that when a child throws and you're watching on video, is where their arm is when they turn. Okay? Now, as their elbow has to be above the height of their shoulder. So if their elbow is dragging through, they're more likely for elbow injury. okay? So if you're videotaping and you see this action right here, and that elbow's below the height of their shoulder as they throw, please, 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 pull the player and the parents aside and say, you know what? Research shows that your child may be at a heightened risk for an elbow injury. Gosh, I really don't want that to happen. If we can get that elbow up, we're going to reduce your chances, okay? Now, not last summer, but 2 summers ago, I worked with six different kids from ages 10 to 14, 2 of which needed to have Tommy John replacement surgery. 6, okay? One of them that needed replacement surgery, this is all it was. He's playing game 6 of the weekend, okay? Traveling tournament, and he's playing, in Woodbury, there's Woodbury and East Ridge, you got the 2 associations in one suburb. He's playing a buddy, playing East Ridge team, his buddy on the other team. So he's on the mound, he's gonna steer him with a sidearm fastball. Pop. Or his only collateral ligament, just like that. Like, now that's really a fluke. It really is, but that's as easy as it can happen. The reason I bring it up is because those things happen from ages 10 to 14 more so than they do in the major leagues. You just don't hear about it. Because unfortunately, which parents, it would be nice that your kids aren't making $10 million a year, but they're having more and more injuries. Okay, and it's not from too much throwing. It's probably from not enough. Okay, it's more from not doing the correct type of throwing and still not throwing enough. Okay, as we could get into a whole topic, it's like there's a lot of coaches out there, and I used to coach with one that said we will not throw more than 120 feet. 120, it's like the magic number is 120. We're going to throw 120 feet. No throw over 120 feet. Okay, so we did a lot of throwing, 120 feet, 15 minutes, you're done. Okay, you're done. 15 minutes, you're done throwing. It's all throwing you need. We had more shoulder and elbow injuries. Okay, so like training for a marathon by doing 40-yard sprints. Got to train for the long haul. Okay, so when you're watching video, taking pictures can be your greatest asset. Okay, and if you are interested. And this is not for cost. This is not at all. You send me an email of a picture of your son, any son. Say say, what do you see? I'll just, draw arrows and I see this, and I'll just tell you what I see. Okay, there's no cost to that. There's no fee. So you can send me an email of a picture. It could be your son or anybody else's. What do you think? What do you see? What information can you give me on this kid? This kid's got a sore elbow. Can you see on one of these pictures why it might be? Maybe I can, maybe I can't. If I can't, I'll let you know. I don't see anything there. It looks pretty typical. Just I might have to watch him throw it. Okay? But guys, I want to eliminate arm pain. Okay? And for you guys, okay, just so you know, I used to have a lot of elbow pain. And for you guys, I want you to be able to, you should be able to do this. Take your right arm and left arm, and both arms out. You should be able to hold straight out and touch your shoulder. Both shoulders. Go ahead, both shoulders, okay? Like that. I can't do this one. This one's arthritic. Okay? Why is it arthritic? No, that's definitely not it yet. Yeah. Man, I need to get some duct tape because, man, am I ripped. Throwing a lot of curveballs. Okay? No one ever told me that throwing curveballs was bad for you if you do it wrong. Okay? Did a lot of that. Okay? So, questions on pitching? I mean, I just kind of went through just some basic stuff here, but there's a lot of stuff that you can, we can get to. We can go into much greater detail, I think.
How critical is the the leg, you know, when you lift the leg up, I've looked at a lot of videos on YouTube and they have the 5-gallon bucket drill where you kind of make sure you lift your, you know, lift it up high. But I seen you where you're just kind of making sure that you're farting at your, it didn't matter how
yep.
high. Is that a critical piece or is that?
It is it's not as critical, that's a good question though. It's not as critical if you can get that hip to turn, okay? If kids that don't get that hip turn, and that's just a way to get kids to use their legs more. At that height, get up there. So as that leg goes up, and some coaches will teach you, is like, pretend you're pitching in a phone booth, and pike your knee. As soon as you do that, your hip pops up. Now you're using your leg. But it's not driving your hip, okay? And for some, you're just not going to be able to get that kid to, okay? They're just not going to get it. So then, get their knee height. Get them up, get them going back. So the key to that then is getting this knee to go from here to there, okay? Because they'll go here, and this is actually worse. Because now they start to lean and fall forward, okay? We want to be able to get them here and go balance. So it's like here, so I'm going to say take the glove, boom, have them go back to their glove, and then forward. Because as soon as they do that, as soon as they gather, same as hitting, okay? Go a little bit back before I go forward. Pitching, same thing, go a little bit back before I go forward. I get that direction, get that movement, get that power going. Yep. Anything else?
Is there any type of cadence or rhythm or anything like that for a wind-up that you can teach kids?
Yep.
Song or?
Yeah. It was like one of the things I'll do is when I start off, so we start off with it just like rock. So I just get back and say rock, block. And that gets the feet moving. So rock, block, kick, throw. You know, if you can get something real simple, and that's when I'm working with young kids, because the big thing with the younger kids is just getting their feet to move. So rock, block, like you're blocking a soccer ball. Okay, so it's rock, block, kick, throw. And if you just go through that. Now with some kids, also you might have to incorporate a little bit with the arms. As long as the arms are matching with the knee. So I want to keep my chin over this foot. I want to keep my glove associated with my knee. So rock, so I go here, glove comes here, just a little bit, block, then I go up. Okay? So as my knee goes up, my glove goes up. As my knee goes down, my glove goes down. So if I can match this, I'll be okay. If I can keep my chin as I start over my back foot, over my center of gravity, I'll stay more directional. Okay? Guys, do you have any questions? Oh, yeah.
So back on playing catch,
Mhm.
do you do a series of for rapid fire where they're getting two-handed?
Yes, yep.
Yeah, so you want to quickly demonstrate how you...
Sure. Yeah, let's say, well, what we do as well is say, now one of the things we say, we'll spend 40 minutes playing catch, is when we play catch, we do many different types of catch. Okay? So some of the things, so guys, why don't you come on up, let me demonstrate real quick. Some of this we've already done. So guys, we don't need a baseball, I'm just need you to stand with your glove. Okay? So stand in a square. So different things that we'll do in practice. So when we're playing quick catch, for example, now the thing that we do with our quick catch is we play quick catch differently infield to outfield. Okay, so outfielders are taught about getting rid of the transfer, moving the feet quickly to get rid of the ball. So we allow them to catch the ball, so they catch it, and it's quickly get rid of it, move their feet and throw. Catchers are all about transfer, so it's catches like boom, turn to throw. I mean, it's all quick. But it's like, so with here, it's all how they catch and turn. So we want them to catch, turn, lift the ball, look it in, and throw. So it's quick there. Middle infielders are all about Attach with two hands. When we talk about play catch, like your hands are in handcuffs. So it's here, quack, turn, boom, catch. So they're real quick. It's catch, turn, pitch, quick, move feet, back and forth. So we want those guys to get rid of the ball. The middle infielders move as quickly, get rid of the ball as fast as they can. So we do a rapid fire. Second base and shortstop better be knocking off a bunch of reps. Okay, first baseman and third baseman, it's all about how quickly, it's like they move their feet. So there, they get it, and now it's just to move the feet, but now they're short arming, a little bit quicker with their arm than as an outfielder. Outfielder, quick with their feet, come through the ball. Okay, pitchers aren't allowed to do this drill because they're not worrying about that as much. Okay, so then if you've got, if this happened to be someone on your team, and you say, okay, you're an infielder and an outfielder, so today we're going to do infield drill. Next time we do it, we're going to do outfield. Okay, we do have guys who play, our pitchers and short, infielders. We have all conference third baseman who's an outfielder. Plays third, plays right field. So he has to do both. So things that we'll do is that we'll do different drills, such as we'll do one where we do a drill called roll toss. So we'll take our infielders and we'll start here in the corner, go roll, throw, roll, toss, roll, toss. So you just, every other throw is, you have to roll it and then throw it. You can go at angles, we can go in certain directions. You can practice throws, throwing in a square, where you go. Inside turn, so I catch, turn, and throw, be quick, this way, catch, turn, throw this way, so in a square. And then we do outside turn, so I catch, turn, catch, turn, throw. So everybody does that. So we can work on inside turns, outside turns. We want to mimic as many game throws as we can. So when we're practicing, we want our outfielders to play catch, and we'll play catch when we'll put a shortstop in the middle. So what we do with our shortstop then is he's taking cuts from one side. Okay? So he turns, takes cut, and he throws. The other guy throws, and instead of cutting, he just is here just as a target and throws it through. So that guy is throwing back, for here. I'm here like this, just throwing, he's using me as he's using me as the sight. Okay, he's getting the long throw. Then I turn around, throw it here, boom, I work on the cut, throw it. Okay, so then we switch it. Okay. Other things that we'll do, and so we're doing this, is like we'll play catch for 40 minutes, but we're switching every 5. Okay? Hey, how's it going? So, the difference between, I'm going to tell you, the difference between you guys here and my guys, you know what the difference is?
The taller?
Body size. That's it. Total. That's the only difference. My guys are bigger, but they will ask the same questions as you do. Okay? They will act the same as you do on a bus. Trust me. Okay? There is no difference. Okay? So it's like I coach youth sports as well, just that my youth are in their 20s. Okay? Yeah, so they do all sorts of silly things. But so what we do, the reason I bring that up is that we switch our drills every 5 minutes. Okay, so when I talk about with the T-ball guys, switching them up, making them really quick. Even with college guys, 5 minutes, switch it. So rapid fire, 5 minutes, switch it. Okay, long toss, 5 minutes. Now we extend them out longer for long toss. But when we come to game throws, every 5 minutes we're switching it. Do it every other day. So we'll have another one that we like to do. This is one of my favorites for infield. So got a guy at home, third, second base, first base. Okay? So we call this 1, 2, 3 across. So catcher starts off, he throws it to third. Third to second, second to first, he throws it over to third. Okay? So then it goes 1, 2, 3, across. Throws it across. 1, 2, 3, across. 2, 3, across. So that way, we are working on throws from bases. Okay? We are working on throwing across the infield. Okay? And you can also do this when, we'll do this one when we throw across. We catch, sweep the tag, and throw. Another, just speaking of this, when we're playing catch, we'll play catch where we catch, sweep the tag, throw it back. Okay? Another one where we catch, fake a throw, go back. So it's like here. So if we're playing catch, I would catch, or as I catch it, I would turn, it's like I'm throwing here, fake, and then throw back. These are all throws we do in a game. Okay? We'd play catch like in a rundown. Okay, this one here we have 3 guys, so that way I play catch, I run it, and then I throw it, and then I just follow the throw. So we play catch like we're in a rundown. So everything you can think of, every kind of throw you have in a game, practice it. As like throwing from the outfield. One of my other favorite infield drills is we give every infielder a ball. And they stand at their position, and then they practice all the different types of catches. Now, there's no ball being hit to them. So now you see guys making diving plays. They're going to the hole. They're making, they're making the Sports Center, play of the day. Boom, they're coming up and making throws. So they practice the mechanics of coming up, popping up, and throwing. And then obviously we got to work on our, as we go through with. Even as much as with double plays. So with that one here, if we're working on double plays, you guys can't see it. Sorry for you. With this one here, we'll have a coach stand next to a middle infielder, flip him a ball. I just turn, throw. So we want to work on every single throw. So when we play catch, I do not allow our coaches to huddle around the infield and talk about all the cool things they're doing after practice. Now, that's probably one of the most important drills that we have, is playing catch. So we'll have, I've got my infield coach. He'll take a baseball and flip it to an infielder, turns double plays. He just works on double plays, gets the ball back, flip. So we want to work on game throws. So the more game throws you can include, all of a sudden practice gets to be more fun than just, here, just turn and throw. Okay, so if you can include 2, 3, 4 types of game throws in your practice and work on those, it's going to, number one, it's going to reduce errors. That's key. When you reduce errors, you start winning games. Kids have more fun. Kids like to play catch. Okay? So there's a lot of different things we can do with that. Okay? And that's just a small sample. Okay? Anything else, guys?
I got one thing. Throwing, for catchers throwing down the second base. When is the transition from a normal throw to just the catcher snap or whatever?
Okay. Now, for the catcher, being that I was a stud, I was a catcher. For this one here, the thing with this is all about how quick I can get rid of this throw. So a lot of times, and here's a mistake, I talk about mistakes that I see from catchers. I can't tell you how many times I'm watching a high school catcher receive the ball, and they're here as they receive it, they come up and they go straight up to throw. Now, the thing that I would have catchers work on as well as along with transfers is we work on transfers, we work on turning our feet, and we want to be quick with that. So if I'm here, I'm here. I want to be as quick as I can to there. I'm going to move forward just a little bit, and I'm going to have my feet shifted. So when I catch, it's going to be, I'm going to be fast. So that part needs to be quick. So if I can get that part, I can get this. Now, what I want to be able to do, I want to make sure that I get my throw, and obviously I want to be able to throw it in the air, but I want to make sure that my throw is not one body height over the, let's say if the pitcher is 5 feet tall, I don't want to throw that thing 10 feet over his head. Okay? So if it's 7 or 8 feet and it takes a one hopper, that's fine. Most of us, how many of you play on grass infields? Do you play on many? Might be some. But the thing that you'll notice if you play on AgriLime in July, they don't water them. It's like that. Concrete with a little dust over the top. Take advantage of that. That ball will skip. That'll gain speed. It's like throwing on concrete. So teach your guys, your catchers, to throw and say, try to get that height, you know, say approximately, as you don't want to be over, 100% of their height. Okay? So you say, oh, go ahead and stand up. Probably 5 feet, so I say, if we stood you on top of your head. That throw is about right there. Totally fine. Okay? As I make sure and it's all about quickness, getting rid of that ball. So when they throw, and that short arm, and that short arming is nothing more than when I'm here and I turn, is that my glove stays, and I turn, when we talk about transferring, we turn the glove, so we teach catchers to catch, you catch and you look at the ball. Okay, so we want our catchers, every time you catch, boom, look at the ball. Pull the ball out of your glove. Okay, so then when I make that throw to second, I'm here, I turn, and there's the ball. Boom, through. It all comes forward. So everything goes. Okay, now this here will take some coordination. It takes practice. But if you can get this, and get that person to come forward to their glove stays right here. So the way you teach that, here, why don't you come on. So how you teach that, if you're going to be, you catch?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you come right back here. Okay? Now what you're going to do is you're going to go out, you're going to go get that ball. Okay? So what you're going to do is come up and bring your glove up. Just bring your glove. Okay? Just take your glove first. Just point your glove, go get, just take your glove, there you go. Now turn, so you look at it, okay? Keep your glove right there. Okay, now look and throw. There. So I want to get you to, boom. So that way it's not, I'm not taking my glove back. I'm not doing anything here, it's just the glove stays here, I just turn it and leave it right there. Okay? And then I go from here and I move my feet to the ball. But the glove doesn't move. Go. Okay? Now, it's just as important to practice throws to first, throws to third. Okay? Obviously most throws go in a second, but probably one of the biggest mistakes and probably the easiest base to steal, third. Okay? Why? Because most catchers don't know how to throw to third. Okay? So, just so happen to have this plate like such. If it's on the inner half of the plate, I'm going to let that ball sink in deep. I'm going to catch, and as I catch, I'm going to step behind and throw behind the right-handed batter. If this ball's on the outer portion of the plate, I'm going to go up and get it, step into the opposite batter's box, and go in front and throw. Okay? It's all a matter of where that ball is. If it's down the middle, once again, if it's middle, I'm going to go behind. Okay? If it's outside, I want to step into opposite batter's box, throw in front. Okay? Now, a hitter has the batter's box, but a hitter also has to avoid the throw. Okay? The hitter doesn't have to move, but they have to avoid the throw. Okay? So a hitter can't just stand there like this. So if I go here, let's say that I'm the hitter and I'm standing way back. Okay, now, if I want my base runner to steal, third, that's where I'm going to stand. If we got a straight steal going from second to third, I'm going to be all over the plate, deep. So I want to force the catcher back. Okay, so as I'm here, if I turn, I catch, and that batter is standing there, they have to be able to bend over to give me a view of third. If they stand there and I throw it off their helmet, that umpire should call interference. He's out, base runner goes back a second. Should. You and I both know umpires make mistakes. Okay? Will they get it? Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. Okay? Okay? Anything else? Guys, I'm kind of a baseball nerd, I could do this all night. So, I do have some forms here, like I said, I've got baseball camp coming up, I got a pitching camp coming up, Friday, Saturday this week, after Thanksgiving, and then I got a hitting camp after Christmas. If you or any other coach wants to come and watch practice, if you want to come to camp and hang around and help out, if you got kids, obviously I'd love to have your kids there, but if you want to come to practice, just let me know, okay? And you can just see what we do in a gym. If you want to come out, come out and watch one of our practices, enjoy having that. I mean, it's just, I want to be able to help. Anything I can do to help, please let me know. It's like, yeah.
I just had a quick one for you on steel. Is there any benefit to having the catchers at this age placing their hand up front when there's a runner in stealing position behind the glove instead of behind their back?
It's all a matter of coordination, more so. So, back when I was playing, it was you kept your hand out of there because you didn't want to get hit with a foul ball, okay? But then it was obviously perfectly okay to put your hand back here and then take the chance of getting hit with a foul ball anyway. So, only thing that I did when I caught, now I didn't have a strong arm, but I will say this, I have decent feet, okay, so it's quick enough there. So the only thing I did was I would always keep my hand back here, and when it came to a steal position, I had my hand toward my side. So I was here, but what I wanted to do to take advantage of my feet is I wanted to make sure that I was constantly, making sure that I could move as quick as I could with my glove. So this was key to me. Okay, so as soon as I got to here, it was like, oh, I wanted to get to this. So for me, it was not important for me to get my hand up here. I think it's more important to be safe. Because I was taught in high school, get your hand back here. And I got hit with foul balls just as easily here, and obviously not as much here. But the purpose was like, okay, he might be stealing. But the key is like, it's, this 1/10 or 2/10 or whatever, 3/10 of a second is, that's not going to be that's not going to be what caused me not to throw that guy out. It's going to be my inaccuracy. Okay? So it's a great question, though. It's a great question. And I just rather you just keep it safe. Okay. Anything else? Also, one other thing, and I've had one of the coaches here talk about this. One of the things I also do is, and we did this last year, it was last summer, we did the video analysis.
2 summers ago.
2 summers ago, yeah, 2 summers ago we did video analysis. So just another thing that we do is videotape your players. And what it is we videotape, and then I videotape the analysis. So I videotape myself analyzing, and then burn it onto a DVD. So if it's something you're interested in, so that way that's just a constant teaching piece that you have. So if you're interested in that, just let me know. Would enjoy doing that as well. As I said, I'm kind of a baseball nerd, so want to talk baseball, I've got all the time in the world for you.
Any exercises